This is 7 News.
Tonight, an attempt to save a drowning tourist ends in a double tragedy on Kangaroo Island. Startling claims our power prices should automatically fall by 10%. And dozens killed and injured in an Al-Qaeda bomb attack on the Saudi capital. With Mike Smithson. Good evening. Also tonight, the Wallabies prepare to meet the All Blacks in the World Cup semi-finals. But first, 2 men have drowned trying to save a German tourist after he was swept into the sea at Remarkable Rocks on Kangaroo Island. The victims are both in their 30s. One's a local tour operator, the other a visitor from Scotland.
After an hour of fighting the freezing Southern Ocean and another 2 on the rocks, 22-year-old German tourist Toby was finally winched to safety. The drama began at 9 o'clock this morning when he fell into the treacherous water. 2 men jumped in to save him while other tourists did their best to get help.
We tried to flag a boat, make an SOS by putting our jumpers. It did not work. The boat went past us.
But while others looked on helplessly, the 2 good Samaritans drowned. It seemed only the German tourist's fitness saved him from the same fate.
He managed to swim and the wave threw him up on top of the water. He landed on the rock itself. And then a second wave washed him off down in the pool. He staggered, finally got back to higher ground.
A researcher from Flinders Uni and a tour guide went to save him.
We ran, walked and scrambled down the rocks to get to him. Someone had a snatch strap, a tow rope out of a 4-wheel drive. We got that and we got it around Toby. Got the wet clothes off him, got a dry shirt on him, got close to him to get the body warmth into him.
The survivor was flown to the Flinders Medical Centre suffering shock and hypothermia. He's in a stable condition. The 2 dead men were pulled from the ocean by a passing fishing boat. Their bodies taken to Vivon Bay, further along the coast. A report's now being prepared for the coroner. Those who witnessed the incredible rescue say it was an amazing effort by everyone who was involved.
They didn't care about their lives. They went down there to render assistance. They should be commended.
They're just glad they saved a life.
I actually believe he's a very brave, strong man for his recuperative powers, and the other 2 went to rescue, and unfortunately what's occurred has occurred.
Peter Caldecott, 7 News.
There's pressure on the state government to urgently review power prices. With summer just around the corner, the state opposition's urging a cost restructure, which would see electricity charges come down by as much as 10%. If the government's hoping the power prices fiasco will evaporate in the summer heat, it will be disappointed. The opposition is mounting a strong push for a pricing review. In the wake of revelations, the state's power watchdog didn't fully read AGL's contract. Our largest electricity retailer now buys at a lower wholesale price, yet consumers are paying 25% more.
What we hope now is that they'll recall all the evidence, do a recheck and hopefully drop the price by, experts are saying around 10%.
Mr Kerrin's figures are based on the advice of the Energy Consumers Council and the National Electricity Code Administrator. But according to our watchdog, Lou Owens, who determines prices, any retailer entering the market and charging less will go broke.
If Lou Owens is right, then let's get people in. Let's have a good look at what the price should have been last year and what it should be this year.
The opposition suspects Labor has let prices go up in the first year so they can drop them closer to an election. The government says that's ludicrous, as it's feeling the same pain as consumers. It says the issue is constantly under review. Overseas, and Al-Qaeda has launched a devastating attack in the Saudi capital, Riyadh. 3 truck bombs tore through a residential compound, killing up to 30 people. Many more were injured, including children. And a warning, some viewers could find parts of our report distressing.
Flames mark the latest act of terrorism blamed on Al-Qaeda. A residential compound in Riyadh ripped apart in a midnight attack by suicide bombers. They fought their way in, exchanging gunfire with security guards. Craters show where they detonated up to 3 bombs. The explosives packed into pickup trucks.
There was a huge plume of smoke. Windows were blown out of buildings and people felt the earth moving beneath their feet.
Several villas collapsed. Rescuers did their best to find survivors. Local hospitals filled with up to 100 injured. This doctor says at least 20% are children. The compound housed very few Westerners, its residents mainly Lebanese. The attack came during Ramadan, the holy month, a possible attempt to destabilise the kingdom. Chris Marr, 7 News.
The Prime Minister's denied a diplomatic rift with France was to blame for the delay in identifying terror suspect Willy Brigitte. This is the first picture of the accused Al-Qaeda operative. French agents knew he was in Sydney but didn't tell ASIO until 4 months after he arrived.
If there was a communications breakdown, it was between certain agencies in the French government, not between Australia and France.
The opposition now wants an inquiry. Salty water is costing the country millions of dollars a year in lost production, killing off plant life and corroding equipment. But an Adelaide company says it's got the salt problem licked and now it's ready to rescue the Murray-Darling Basin.
White death spreading over the landscape. Dissolved salts from rising water tables are poison for plant life, while the build-up of calcium clogs up irrigation drippers and is expensive to remove.
One vineyard was up for $30,000 in descaling its drippers for one season. They put on one unit that cost $10,000 and we unblocked it within that first season.
A computer sends out high resonance frequencies through antennas wrapped around water pipes. The salt is broken down into sodium and chloride, so it can't form crystals and cause corrosion or harm plants. Darrenberg Winery has cleaned up its bore water and they say the vines have never been healthier.
The water's okay for using for vines or for anything else.
Adelaide Oval, the most precious piece of turf in town, and they've just started using HydroSmart technology to clean up water from the River Torrens Lake.
Probably by April I'd have a fair assessment of how we've come through this summer and compare it with years gone by.
But it's the River Murray where HydroSmart believes they can make the greatest difference.
We'd break all the minerals that were coming out of the Murray, and including the salt, into tiny non-reactive particles.
What the company wants now is an independent scientific assessment of their work. Chris Warren, 7 News.
A Collinswood couple's thanking their lucky stars after receiving a very special delivery. Their baby son arrived in the back of the family Mercedes, right in the thick of peak hour traffic.
Yorgos Apostolou may only be 6 days old, but he already has a reputation for being impatient. As his parents, Mary and Nick, were driving to hospital last Monday for a routine pregnancy checkup, Yorgos decided it was time to join the world 3 weeks earlier than scheduled. Mary's waters broke as they were driving along Glen Osmond Road. The back seat of the family car was then quickly transformed into a makeshift delivery ward.
Bumper to bumper traffic, and she announced the head had come out, and before we could think about what to do, he came out whole.
By the time SA ambulance paramedics Stephen Howden and Jenny Bell arrived, it was all over, the entire labour lasting just minutes.
We didn't have to do anything. Its mum had delivered and Dad came and cut the cord and Jasmine made sure that all his bits and pieces were where they were supposed to be, so it was good.
The Apostolous already have a daughter, Jasmine, who's clearly chuffed by the arrival of her little brother. They say their biggest challenge now is convincing family and friends their amazing birth story is no tall tale.
They actually don't believe us, or still don't believe us. We tell them the story over and over and they go, nah, we know you too.
Lee Jelisek, 7 News.
It's as easy as that. Well, Prince Charles is returning to London from the Middle East tonight to face a frenzy of speculation and scandal. Damaging details continue to emerge over an ex-valet's claim that he caught the prince in a compromising act with another servant.
A legal gag continues to stop the full details emerging in Britain.
I'm 20, sir, please.
But the newspaper battling to overturn the injunction is standing by its story and the former servant who has sparked a fresh royal scandal. According to details already revealed in foreign newspapers and internet sites, the ex-valet claims he caught Prince Charles in a compromising act with another male servant. The story had been circulating among royal rumour-mongers for months, but broke across the world last week when the prince took the unprecedented and risky step in denying a story that many Britons hadn't heard.
It sells papers, doesn't it?
You're still going to read it then?
Of course I am.
Powerless to stop frenzied speculation at home, Prince Charles has kept up appearances on a visit to the Middle East.
Very good.
Protocol and polite hosts preventing any mention of the scandal on tour. The story remains a rumour, an allegation without proof. But despite the Prince's early denials, some royal servants fear the damage has been done, both to his reputation and his future as king. At St James's Palace, Tim Verstegen, 7 News.
What do you think he was doing? No, don't answer it. Don't answer
family, that one.
It is. We'll keep it within the royal family. Bruce, the Wallabies through to the Rugby World Cup semi-finals.
Mike, it's going to get a whole lot tougher next week against New Zealand in the semi-finals. After the break, we'll hear from coach Eddie Jones and see how the fumbling Wallabies overcame a forgettable first half to beat Scotland. And star recruit Andy Flower repays the Redbacks with a $50,000 six.
Live only on 7. Will the Irish pull the plug on electrifying France? Then the team everyone loves to hate. Can dazzling Wales shock them in sudden death? France, Ireland and England-Wales tonight on 7.
OK, who wants to go on a holiday? Get your bids in right now. Congratulations!
The Great Barrier Reef, the Daintree Rainforest, a vibrant resort-style atmosphere. Cairns in far north Queensland has it all, and it's yours for the bidding in today's travel auction. Make sure you're one of the top 50 bidders. Our package includes 5 nights accommodation at the Country Comfort Outrigger Cairns, superbly located close to the Esplanade. You also receive a buy one, get one free full buffet breakfast daily and a buy one, get one free dinner in the restaurant one night. Choose to travel during selected months, get another night's stay absolutely free. Normally $695 for a couple. Today though, try a bid of $625. All right, $550. Bid something, it's up to you. If you're successful, you've got a year to travel and very few conditions apply. Yes, school holidays are available. Come on, up to 6 nights in magnificent Cairns. What's your bid? 1300 65 65 73. Call now.
The Harriscar pre-Christmas clearance is in its last 2 days with bargains like 30% off all quilts, pillows and underblankets, all bathroom towels and accessories, and all quilt cover sets, sheet sets and bedspreads, plus 25% off a huge range of menswear. Hurry, our pre-Christmas clearance ends Tuesday.
2 shoe boxes. The one on the right has been sealed with Bondall's Pond-Tight waterproofing sealer. Bondall's Aquatight, Pond-Tight or Terra-Tight are the perfect waterproofing solutions. Bondall are the makers of famous Bondcrete. The solution is Bondall. This is the one episode of Alias you've got to see.
Base camp, waiting on your signal.
Hold on tight. Finally, you're about to discover the shocking truth.
I've opened the box.
Alias 7, Monday.
Welcome back, and at the Adelaide Oval this afternoon, the Redbacks lost but won some money. Man of the match Murray Goodwin and Mike Hussey helped the Warriors cruise to a 7-wicket win. However, the Redbacks will share $50,000 after Andy Flower hit a sponsor's sign.
Davison got the Redbacks off to a flyer. He smashed 2 sixes and raced to 36 off 23 balls. It took something special to stop him.
Just look at that. Fully fingertip stuff. It was a wonderful catch by Hussey.
Blewett struggled with his timing but pushed the score past 100 at better than 5 and over. But his lazy cut shot triggered a mini collapse. The Redbacks lost 3 for 4 and were reduced to a crawl. Flower and Cosgrove got them back on their feet. Then Flower made the Redbacks jump for joy.
That is a good hit and it's hit the sign. And Andy Flower, in his first game at the Adelaide Oval for South Australia, has won inside a big chunk of change.
With $50,000 in his pocket, Flower went on to make 74. The Redbacks finished with 262. The Warriors lost Campbell first ball.
And that's close. That's very close. It's out.
And Langer was caught out by Cosgrove.
Gets it straighter. In the air. And that is a fine catch.
The Warriors looked in trouble at 2 for 87, but North, Hussey and Goodwin steadied the innings. Goodwin was a man in a hurry. His 50 came off only 38 balls, which was the fastest of the season. And with Hussey in tow, the Warriors cruised to a 7-wicket win.
Paul Childs, 7 News.
To basketball, and the undermanned Adelaide 36ers lost to the Tigers by 12 points in Melbourne. And in soccer, Adelaide United still hasn't lost a game after a 0-0 draw with Marconi. In the English Premier League, the winners were Arsenal, Middlesbrough, Charlton and Portsmouth. To golf, and Chad Campbell is charged to the top of the leaderboard at the US Tour Championship. He shot a 10 under par 61 and leads by 1 with 1 round to play. Robert Allenby and Tiger Woods are well off the pace.
Chad Campbell, the US PGA runner-up, is yet to win on tour, but a purple patch in Houston has made him the man to catch heading into the last round. This monster putt at the par 3-12 for a share of the lead. Tiger Woods needs to win the tournament to top the money list. That looks unlikely. He's 11 shots off the pace.
Beautiful shot.
It'll be Vijay Singh who tops the list. The best round of his tournament so far, a 67.
Very accessible for Vijay. What a shot.
And plenty of push and shove for the V8 supercars in New Zealand. Holden again dominated, with Greg Murphy notching another win. Mark Scaife won the last race, but it was Murphy, the overall winner in round 12.
Watch the crowd, they love it.
In contrast, not a great weekend for David Bernard. Nick McArdle, 7 News.
More cricket. Michael Bevan has steered Australia out of deep trouble again. Bevan and skipper Ricky Ponting were left to rebuild the Australian innings after New Zealand crashed through their top order.
Looks good to me. Harvey Admar replaced Hayden and Gilchrist at the top of the order, but the intent was still the same.
And this is square field, just to show he's got both of them.
Harvey raced to 25 off 19 balls before chasing one too many.
Struck because Harvey's mistimed it straight up in the air.
Tuffy trapped Maher in front next ball, and when Martin departed without scoring, Australia had slumped to 3 for 34. Simons tried to resurrect the innings, but his lack of patience once again brought him undone.
And gone.
Michael Bevan had a minor victory over Daniel Vittori.
He's been steamrolled.
But the spinner got his revenge, picking up Ricky Ponting and Michael Clark in similar fashion.
Yes, taken by McMillan it is.
Australia went 22 overs without a boundary, but some late hitting from Michael Bevan helped set the Kiwis a target of 226.
And Australia's through the Rugby World Cup semi-finals after an unconvincing 17-point win over Scotland. Wallabies playmaker Matt Giteau injured his ankle and is only rated a 50-50 chance to tackle New Zealand.
Crutches weren't required by Matt Giteau this morning as he put his best foot forward for selectors, but scans on his ankle have shown ligament damage.
Look, at best it's 50-50. You know, he's very doubtful. Any guy that has to leave the field assisted has got to be have a fair sort of ankle injury, and that's what Matt's got.
It happened in the last 10 minutes of the quarter-final, and it wasn't pretty. George Smith's shoulder is the other concern. He's also in serious doubt for the game against the All Blacks.
And certainly he's not a good chance of playing on Saturday at all.
A spot in the semis didn't look guaranteed in the first half against Scotland. The problem's all too familiar.
And Rogers took his eye off the ball.
In the space of one pass, you can fix those problems, and that's what we need to do for the semi-final.
It was a much improved Wallaby performance in the second half. Turnover ball from the Scots, punished.
Sterling Morcliffe gets a breakout. And the Wallabies take the lead.
But 2 more tries put the result beyond doubt, taking the Wallabies into a trans-Tasman showdown in Sydney.
George Gregan!
There's a massive prize at the end of it in terms of who goes through, so very, very happy to be where we are. We know we've got to improve, but we're in a place which allows us to proceed further.
I think it's important that people realise we're doing absolutely everything we can to play as well as we can for the country. You know, absolutely everything we can.
The All Blacks secured their spot in the last 4 with a 20-point win over South Africa at the Telstra Dome.
Support looms on the inside, McDonald. Superb All Black try.
And coming up after 7 News tonight, France runs into Ireland and England tackles Wales. And a huge crowd was on hand for an exciting final day of the International Horse Trials. After the dressage and cross-country, Boyd Martin on True Blue Tuzak held a 1-point lead. He went on to win. Olympic gold medalist Stuart Tinney on Jeeps declined from 4th to 2nd. Sammy McLeod on Enchanted finished 3rd. Fabulous day out. For tonight, that is our sport. Michael?
Thanks, Bruce. When we return, the weather details for the start of the working week and continuing a 45-year tradition, the switching on of the brewery Christmas lights.
From the creators of Cold Feet, a new romantic comedy. He lost love at first sight and found the wrong woman. Now the fun begins. I Saw You premieres Monday 9:30.
Time's running out for your bid in today's travel auction. Now be one of the top 50 bidders and you'll escape with our package to far north Queensland, the Daintree and Great Barrier Reef. It includes up to 6 nights accommodation at the Country Comfort Outrigger in Cairns, with buy one get one free breakfasts and a buy one get one free dinner. Normally $695 for a couple. Ring now. Bid whatever you want to pay, and if successful, you've got a year to travel. 1300 65 65 73.
The Harriscar pre-Christmas clearance is in its last 2 days with bargains like 30% off all quilts, pillows and underblankets, all bathroom towels and accessories, and all quilt cover sets, sheet sets and bedspreads, plus 25% off a huge range of menswear. Hurry, our pre-Christmas clearance ends Tuesday.
Nippies, naturally as good as it gets.
Get ready to entertain at home with these great tabletop and kitchen specials. Noritake Heritage Gold setting was over $1,000, now $3.99. Buy 2 Maxwell & Williams Cosmopolitan dinner sets for $99 and get a bonus salad bowl valued at $29.95. Grab the Entertainer Punch Bowl for just $79. The new Le Creuset Reversible Giant Grill is at the special introductory price of $159. Lay by now for Christmas at Tabletop and Kitchen, Gawler Place and Grote Street.
Time's running out for your bid in today's travel auction. Now be one of the top 50 bidders and you'll escape with our package to far north Queensland, the Daintree and Great Barrier Reef. It includes up to 6 nights accommodation at the Country Comfort Outrigger in Cairns, with buy one get one free breakfasts and a buy one get one free dinner. Normally $695 for a couple. Ring now. Bid whatever you want to pay, and if successful, you've got a year to travel. 1300 65 65 73.
The Sudden Death World Cup finals are live only on 7. Next, France against Ireland. Then, can Wales knock out number 1 England?
Another stunner today to round off a weekend of weather to remember. Our top of 26.6 degrees was recorded at 3:30 this afternoon after a low of 9.9. Currently still a beautiful 25 degrees in the city. Well, most parts of the state enjoy the ongoing burst of spring with a very hot 38 degrees at Maree, while at the other end of the scale, Para was the coolest centre with just 15. I'll get it right next time. The satellite photo shows only a trace of cloud in our area, with a bit more lurking around the southeast. The synoptic chart shows the high near Kangaroo Island has stalled, and that means more fine and sunny conditions will prevail. So interstate tomorrow, Sydney, Brisbane and Canberra could see showers, but take a look at Perth, 36 degrees. And if you enjoyed today, conditions across the state will be almost an exact copy tomorrow, with hot conditions in the north grading to cool in the southeast. A great day to get out on the water if you're lucky enough, with a 10 to 15 knot breeze in the morning, gaining strength in the afternoon with seas up to 1.5 metres. In the city, another warm and sunny day with some fresh winds about the foothills. Another day of 26 degrees after a low of 11. Looking ahead, sunny Tuesday with a bit of cloud Wednesday, hotter later in the week and a chance of a thunderstorm by next weekend. Well, it's back to school and work tomorrow, so take care on the roads. Speed cameras will be out in force as usual. Watch out on Green Hill Road, Goodwood Road and further south at Ranella. Still in the southern suburbs, you'll find plenty more cameras all the way down to Moana. West of the city, take care on Military Road and right along Anzac Highway. And finally, you'll find a pair of snappers on Henley Beach Road. And before joining our World Cup quarterfinals telecast, we'll leave you tonight with a glimpse of West End Brewery's Riverbank Christmas lights display. It was switched on last night and continues through to New Year's Eve. Good night.